Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, fellow Zoomers and Facebookers.
And welcome to Final Step International. What is this, a Zoom class we call this?
This is our Zoom office.
A Zoom office. Welcome to our 10 o'clock in the morning Zoom office, where we have a very interesting topic today, which is around emotional foundation.
Right.
So at the Final Step, as you know, our goal is to guide you and acknowledge and accept your truth. Get you to understand why you do what you do, and if you decide you want to stop it, you can. So to get you to feel different, get you to behave different and think different, so you can be different. And remember this, I can lead you to the truth, but I cannot make you believe it, okay? Yeah, have that one. Okay.
Wow, powerful Mr. Otis.
Yeah.
Started Thursday just throwing some wisdom.
Well, it's been with the clients I have, and it's about this topic. We have an emotional foundation.
Hey,
right? It's about an emotional foundation, and this foundation can be shaky. So, emotional foundation. What does that mean?
Oh, we're just starting. We're just going straight for
it. Do we have a commercial break? We're gonna bring some Raisin Bran in here. I love Raisin Bran.
I didn't think I even introduced myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. Yeah, I did, because I know how to start an introduction.
But did you introduce me?
I know, because I was thinking about this guy right here.
This guy.
Right.
Very important.
Hand it over to her.
Right here. Hi, guys. My name is Alina Hugas, and I am the conspirator to Final Step International. And just a little plug out there. We do have 2 books, which we never have prepared. You know, we never have our props ready, but I will go get them. So Michael's book was just recovered and is, Michael's book was just recovered and is When Nobody's Home. Mm-hmm. And my book is published and is Own Your Dreams. And right now, with this day and age, it is very important to remember that you still could have a dream, own it, and make it a reality. So, with that said, okay, hit it, Mr. Otis.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, but I do have a little thing about.
Never mind, I'll be back.
An emotional foundation. No, do you realize that people could just be walking around and living their whole life, not realizing that they don't have an emotional foundation?
Yes, a lot of people do. So they become human doers. They do. They keep busy. They don't take a step back and reflect some of the behavior they're displaying. And this also can be this. It can be age inappropriate behavior. If you notice people behaving like teenagers and they're in their 30s, 40s, or 50s, maybe 60s, doesn't matter. If you haven't looked at the problem that started this whole thing, you'll notice people acting age inappropriately, and you're wondering, well, why is that? Because there's still that emotional foundation that they never had, still haunts them subconsciously, and they're doing the best they can to deal with it.
And then we ask, why can't they act their age?
Yeah, why can't we act their age? So, and that's why. Okay, so let's go down. Let's get down to brass tacks. What is an emotional foundation? What does that mean? I mean, might as well give you guys the answer since you're here. Okay, so an emotional foundation is having the ability to express your emotions appropriately in a given situation. Okay, and remember, emotions are what? Indicator lights. When your car, when the engine light goes off in your car and it tells you something's going on and you pay attention to it, it means you got to go get a repair, a tune-up or whatever. The oil light comes on, right? It tells you something. Well, that's what emotions are. So something showed up, you responded emotionally, be it anger, frustration, hostility, or joy, happiness, and gladness. Right? So either way, Meisner technique. Stanislavski. So that's the whole thing about emotions. They're indicator lights telling you what's going on inside you and how but here's the thing, how are you going to respond to that?
Right, because sometimes something very small could happen and you just fly off the handle.
Does that make it small?
And that's the thing. And
It looks small.
It looks small to somebody else.
Somebody else's perception.
Right. Somebody that might or that could have a strong emotional foundation, but your foundation is so weak that something that could be small to somebody else, it's huge to you. Right, Mr. Jordan?
Yes. So, for example, let's say you said something to someone, and they reacted in a very hostile, angry manner.
Or somebody said something to you.
Yeah, and you go, "Oh my, what the heck? I just said this thing."
Right.
That's not a big deal. Why is that a big deal? But guess what? To you, it may not be, but to them and their experience from that comment brings back an old memory of maybe powerlessness, helplessness, hopelessness, something. And well, here's what people usually do when they get older. Because you get older, you will defend yourself. Back then you couldn't because you were small, but now you can go, I can lash out and attack the perpetrator who's making me relive this pain again.
Right. Okay. So small. We didn't do any housekeeping because Mr. Odin was
housekeeping. We cleaned the house this week. We hired the lady. What's up?
Okay. So if you guys have any questions, please put it in the chat, then we will do some Q&A at the end. Also, people on Zoom. We're not ignoring you guys, but put anything in the chat and we will answer the questions. Same on Facebook. We're only doing Facebook and Zoom today. We're not doing Instagram because it's just a little too much. So that's the housekeeping for today. So we will address any questions and concerns at the end. So here's a perfect, okay, done with the commercial. Here's a perfect example of a, I don't want to say weak.
No, it's not weak.
Maybe unstable.
Unstable.
Foundation.
Unstable, stable.
Yeah, so you noticed, so now at the supermarkets or every place you go due to COVID, there's lines, right? Like arrows, you go this way, you go this way. Okay, so because most of us are not used to looking at the arrows, we just go on, we're wearing our mask and making sure everything's sanitized. So you just do what you do. So I'm at Trader Joe's and I'm just doing my thing. So this lady the other day just stopped me to tell me that I'm not going with the arrows. So my whole thing is like, oh, I said exactly like this. Oh, my bad. I didn't even notice the arrows. Well, she decided that she wanted to fly off the handle because how can I not notice the arrows? And she just went on and on and on. Well, I decided to ignore her because they're just some arrows and I'm not killing anybody. It's just arrows on the floor. But to her, those arrows meant a lot. So what happens in a case like that, Mr. Odin?
No, you don't personalize it.
Oh, I didn't.
You have empathy for her because for her, she read every instruction in the book. She saw every arrow, every direction, every rule that you need to follow in order to procure her items in a manner that where she wouldn't get sick.
Right.
So she saw someone who was going against the rules and made her pay the price. So I wonder what her mother and father said to her.
Right.
Young lady, how dare you? You should know better.
Right.
Okay?
So maybe her emotional foundation was, shaken.
It was shaken because you didn't follow the rules. And to her, rules means control, rules mean what? That I have power.
Yeah.
Rule means identity, possibly. So all these things, look at all this stuff, how it all adds up. When you can go behind the scenes and look to see what they're going through, you can go, wow, you must come from a hostile environment, or you must have been judged or something, as opposed to, that's okay, man. I see you may have missed the arrows. Let's get in line, let's do our thing. But, a response to a situation will give you a clear indication of how that child was raised, or that person was raised, actually, that adult. It was really interesting. And I've gotten more clients lately, and their whole emotional foundation is so upside down. I'm surprised they're even here today, because the stuff they go through, the experiences they've had, the emotional foundation that they never had. And basically, the emotional foundation is basically a parent showing up consistently. And if they do that, then your emotional foundation is pretty good, because it's really good because it met your needs. Remember we talked about needs? Yeah, the needs for, shall we say, acceptance, affection, bonding, security of home and family.
Even your needs for showing up.
Yeah, that's consistency, predictability, right? So when that happens, that's the primary one in my I can't even think of the word. That is an important need to be met for a child, consistency. And when people show up, guess what? When you get older, people not showing up is not going to affect you, because the people who needed to show up that were more important gave you that emotional foundation. If you were loved as a child, and most of you were met, you're emotional, and you get to the adult world and you break up with somebody, your response to that breakup is not going to be as detrimental as to someone who didn't have those needs met. Does that make sense? Okay? And I've seen it happen. So the magnification of 30 times the pain in a breakup for someone who doesn't have a strong emotional foundation, to the difference between someone who has a strong found emotional foundation. You get that? I tell you that love from those particular individuals is huge.
Okay, so let me break it down, because
Break
that's
it
on
down.
a little. So if you have a strong emotional foundation as a child, right?
That means people showed up.
People showed up.
Needs were met.
Needs were met. When you grow up as an adult and you break up with somebody, or somebody breaks up with you, that means that breakup is not magnified as much, or it's not as hurtful, or you could get over it quicker than if you did not have that strong emotional foundation as a child. So if you were, let's say, left, or if you were in foster care.
Foster care.
Yeah. And then and as an adult, someone breaks up with you, that that breakup is magnified like by 1,000 times.
Huge.
This is why both women and men, when they are adults and they have like a 3-day so-called relationship, and the person breaks up with them or ignores their phone call, and those people come from an unstable household as a child, or from a childhood to teen, they act like they've been in a relationship for years. And that is not so. And then you ask, well, how long were you guys in a relationship? 3 days?
Or 3 months, yeah.
Yeah, and not even months.
That's how much it means to them.
Right.
That's all. So that's emotional foundation. Okay.
That's because they were unstable.
Yeah, abandonment, abuse, trauma, all these things that make your foundation shaky.
Okay, so how can we use that emotional foundation in business? So if you have an unstable foundation, emotional foundation, as a child, or
then
as an entrepreneur.
So where would it show up?
Where would it show up?
It would show up on, depending if you don't get the deal, if you get rejected by by not getting accepted by a client. Yeah, get rejected by a client. We don't want your services. We're gonna go somewhere else. Let's see, what else is there?
What about by an employee? How would you handle your employees?
Well, if they take our course, they can apply the information, but people give their you have to ask somebody, they give the behavior meaning. So if somebody does something and we respond to it, we're giving it a meaning. In other words, how that affects us.
Right.
So if they understand, well, why did that situation affect you this way? And I don't know. No, it's just in there. Then I would say, what if you did know? Right? And once they understand that, then they can go, wow, that reminded me of a time I got rejected, by my parent when I wanted to do this thing back in the day. So that brought up an old experience, and that really impacted me emotionally, and therefore I responded this way. Okay.
So with a team, like teams or team members,
teams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It would be something that if they have, let's say for a small company, so let's say like you and I, with the team that we have now, if our admins were to quit on us and we had a weak foundation, we would take that to heart. Or like they quit on us, they don't want to work with us, they don't like us.
Oh no, I will hunt them down.
instead of, they outgrew us, or, they got somebody to pay them more or whatever. It is what it is.
Well,
I mean, we'll find somebody else.
Well, the key is not to personalize.
Right.
That's the key. Because most people will do this. What did I do?
Right.
What did I do to avoid this? What does a child say when a parent leaves? I could have been a better child.
It was my fault.
It was my fault. I could have studied more. I could have made my bed.
Yeah, even when parents get divorced, kids always think it's their fault.
Yeah, it's their fault because they want to keep the family together.
Mm-hmm.
So it all intertwines with almost everything we do in our world, how we relate to people, how we relate to business, how we relate to people.
Right.
Because bottom line is we got to connect with people, and we need to develop relationships, and those relations are developed on how we respond, how we react, how we communicate, how we empathize with others. So all that plays a role. The bottom line is I'm not hiring because you may be good at what you do. I'm hiring because I get along with you. Because who wants to work with somebody who's really good at it, but man, they're a pain in the ass.
Right.
I'm not doing it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Okay.
Okay. So this is a question that has been brought up lately to us by other entrepreneurs. Are Hispanics and Blacks, do they, I don't even know how to say this, but
struggle?
Yeah, do they struggle more in business than Caucasians do?
Well, look at the times now. All right. Oh, so we're gonna get a little intense right now, a little political.
Okay, we're just gonna keep it,
Keep it what?
Okay, so right. So the question is, do you guys believe that it's harder for Hispanics and Blacks to be able to be successful in business? And does that have anything to do with their upbringing or with the culture? That's it, Mr. Otto. We don't need to go crazy on us.
Gotta go crazy now?
Okay, go crazy.
So, if you look at the systemic racism, hurdles have been put in front of Black and brown people for hundreds of years. Just you got to do this 3-4 times more than this person over here. You got to jump over there. We're gonna pull you back, and I got to do it again. We're gonna pull you back. So never a head start per se. So I looked at it on a psychosocial point of view. I was asked to write a chapter for a business book about the Black and brown entrepreneurs and why they may fail. All right. So here's what happens. If you are a Black and brown person in this world, and you are constantly looking over your shoulder that whatever you do is judged, and at the end of the day, it will never be good enough because of your color, just because of your color. That's it. And you have to work 3 times as hard. You got to perform 4 times as hard, and everything has to be in the row in order to go, is it good enough? Now, on top of that, if you come from a disenfranchised neighborhood and you want to take the education route, go to high school, that's key, and possibly go to college, which is like going to the moon for some families, and your family and your inner circle is really are making comments that how dare you, or who do you think you are that you can do this?
Not only your inner circle, actually your family.
Well, that's the inner circle.
Oh.
You're thinking of the mafia or something.
No, maybe your friends. So we just want to be clear. Actually, your family, the people that you're actually living with.
The main people who have the most influence on you, right? Because they didn't go, and who do you think you are going?
Right.
Or they have and when I worked with Hispanic people, they are the first generation in America, and they're going to go to college, but the parents don't get it, and they're like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Who's going to, yeah.
You got to do 4 years of this thing, and nothing's being made. There's nothing concrete in my hand. You can't build it, fix it, make it. I get a lot of that.
Right.
But you come for the American dream, and college is, if it's part of that, right? If it's part of that, then guess what? Then your child is going in the best direction they can. But if you don't understand it, then you're going to try to dissuade your child from going in that direction, or you're going to, we'll call it, present certain verbal curses and spells to tell them they're not smart enough, they're not this enough, they're not that enough to go to school. So that weighs on you. Now watch this. This is high school. Then you get into college. Then you're like, wow, I got here. I made it so far. But here's the other thing. We call it the imposter syndrome.
Yep,
Do I believe I belong? Boy, did I hear a lot of that when I was speaking to the college kids.
Right.
Man, you know, I mean, then they graduate. Now they go out to the world, and who do they encounter? More so than they ever had. White folks. They have. It's just like, wow.
But okay, so let's back it up. So not only that, when they get ready to graduate, they're already in fear because of what their family member's going to say, because they're graduating with a piece of paper, but they don't have a job. You know, and we did come across a lot of that because, you know, okay, so now I have a degree, but I'm still working at, one of the girls was still working at El Pollo Loco, even though with a degree now she was going to be able to move into management. But the family's like, oh, so you're still there, you know, 12 years of working at El Pollo Loco, and you now have a piece of paper, but you're still there. They didn't process the fact that now she's in HR, and she's no longer behind the counter, but she's in HR, you know, so that was even hard for her. So then now they're into the world competing with, you know, the white folks. And then now that's when the imposter syndrome comes in. And a lot of them have said that to us. Well,
and it comes, remember we talk about emotional foundation. So we're going to back to where we begin, the emotional foundation, right? If you're told that what you're going to do is a constant struggle, that you may not be good enough to do this, or you get the verbal jabs here and there as you grow up, and they start adding up, then that's going to show up. Remember, it's going to show up down the line. If you were told that you can do anything that you want, if you work hard, you may fail, but God dang it, get up and do it again. And you can do it. You have the ability. You have this, and this. Guess what? There's a high probability that the what is that called? The imposter syndrome will show. But it's there and it's real. So emotional foundation is critical in how we go out there and navigate into the world. Remember that. Okay? Yeah. So, excellent.
That's a good one.
It's time for a commercial. What are we going to do here? We're parched.
Oh, here, have some of my
oh God.
Some of my delicious treats. So let me get the book.
What's in that?
The salty stuff is for the birds, right?
That doesn't grow hair. I don't know what will. Okay. Anyway, so that's what's going on. She's coming back. I'm trying to kill time. Can you actually kill time?
Okay, so I wanted to show you guys. So this is Michael's book that has been recovered. There we go. That has been recovered. It's on Amazon. So please buy it if you have not had a copy. If you have not purchased a copy of the old book, make sure you purchase a copy of the new one.
So if you notice the book, it has a kid in the window waiting for a parent. Okay. One of the most painful stories I hear over the years is a child waiting for a parent to show up to take them for their weekend or their visiting, what have you. And that child will stay in that window for hours. Yeah, years if they could, but hours and hours, 8 hours. I've heard the stories. These are the stories where I actually cry because I'm a sucker for kids. When kids get hurt. And I wanted to put that in there because that's what happens because nobody's home and they're waiting because I'm waiting for you to give me that, you know, that attention that I desire, that love I want, that you notice me, that I mean something. So, yeah, so that's why we recovered that because I wanted to get to that point.
Right. And so this is my book. Oops, wait.
Oh, yeah, you might as well cover my face, Selena. There you go.
This is my book. Own Your Dreams, and I am a co-author, chapter 11. And actually my chapter talks about childhood trauma that you might have I didn't even know I was traumatized, but it did develop into dis-eases that I did not want to claim. And so working with Mr. Odin, I realized that my emotional foundation was a little shaken. So after years of working together and therapists and much unneeded medication that the medical field, you know, the doctors gave me, I realized that actually with our methodology and other methods that I've brought in, hypnotherapy, NLP, that I could actually use those methodologies to take care of my dis-ease bonuses and not really need any medication. So that's what my chapter talks about. Chapter 11, how to use the 7-step system, how to use the needs-based method, and to realize that the mind is stronger than what we believe.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
yes.
huge. And so that's something that we
Mind thing.
practice all the time. So, you know, hypnotherapy, NLP, the needs-based method. And so with the purchase of either one of our books, and you take a picture of yourself with the book and the receipt, we will give you, actually we have tons of bonuses. So it's good.
Really, I got a lot of clothes I got to get rid of.
So that'll work to some of his clothes.
Minimizing.
Minimizing. Yes, we're really trying to do this. So that's something else that'll happen once you become emotionally free. You realize that a lot of stuff. So what is it that you say? We buy? No, we buy because we want.
Oh, I have, therefore I am. I am, therefore I want.
Powerful.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Ooh, what does that mean?
Right?
Look at the sun came out. Nothing but blade back there.
And once you realize that, it's amazing.
Oh, let me repeat it again, because this is I have, therefore I am. See, that's the material.
Let me see if I can write it on Facebook.
I have, therefore I am. What we want to be is I am, therefore I
have.
want. I am, therefore I want. Okay, I have. I'm a bit confused now. What did I do?
I have, therefore I am.
I have, therefore I am.
Oh. Okay.
Because I have it, right? I'll give you a little hint. That makes me materialistic.
Yeah, so I have, therefore I am.
I am, therefore I want.
And what does that mean?
Because I know who I am, because I am comfortable with who I am, that means I can obtain something and not let that identify me. Okay?
We need a microphone, like drop the mic.
I like to drop that in the trash. This stuff is just, what the heck? But if it's healthy. So that's what that is, okay?
We need a microphone.
When you have an emotional foundation, we will latch onto material things to identify us. Look what I have. Go ahead, clients who had cars, houses, and everything, and they're still waiting for that parent to go, I love you.
Yeah.
You mean a lot to me, son and child. But I had a breakthrough with a client the other day whose father finally said, after X amount of years and all the drama she's gone through, I'm very proud of you, daughter. Boy, when she told me that, huge. See, that I tell you what, that's that commercial. That's priceless.
That's rehab.
That's priceless.
Prison, everything.
All kinds of crap.
And that's all she wanted to hear from him.
All she ever wanted to hear. And that right there, that probably took off 50% of the emotional burden she's been carrying her whole life.
If he would have said that before, she would have not been gone to prison. Man,
that's all we want to hear from those main people. The power that carries is immense. So that's why when you see people do dastardly behavior out there, it's because if no one cares, then why should I care? And society will pay.
Yeah.
Be it in a relationship, be those people sticking up a 7-Eleven, or the people who quietly, embezzle $90,000 from Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so anything else here? It's been a half an hour.
Yeah.
35
minutes. So, God, that was good.
That was a good class.
This was a good class, people. Okay, so
I hope you learned something today.
Absolutely, and if you didn't, you guys got to watch the replay because today was powerful. So the other thing is we're doing a 6-week emotional architect workshop.
Emotional architect workshop.
Yes. So we're going to teach you.
We're going to drill down.
We're going to drill down. We're going to teach you how to build an emotional foundation from beginning to end for 6 weeks. We're going to drill it in to make you guys strong or stronger, especially during this time. So sign in or sign up. So look on our website, look into our Facebook page, and all the information is going to be posted by the end of this week. So we hope to see you guys next Thursday, 10 o'clock, same bat time, same bat channel. We ask you to be good to yourself, be good to others, stay healthy and safe. And what else, Mr. Odin?
Oh, be selfish.
Because remember, you're not being selfish, you're being selfless.
Mm-hmm. Okay, bye. Have a great week.
Peace. Bye, guys.
See you later.